chaos thrives in the hands of the restless, those who yearn for conflict, like moths to a flame. Drama is their drug, their sanctuary, their excuse to remain in a world that never grows quiet. They create storms because the silence terrifies them, and in the noise, they believe they'll drown you too. But you're something different. You let the chaos swirl around you, untouched by its pull, refusing to engage in their little games. Choosing peace is not weakness. It's the sharpest blade. It cuts through the noise, leaving nothing for the restless to cling to. While they scream into the void, seeking a reaction, you remain steady, unshaken. Peace, for them, is a mirror reflecting their lack of control. It forces them to confront the emptiness they've spent so long masking with conflict. Your refusal to play their game is the only move that matters. Drama feeds on participation. It grows stronger with every word, every look, every moment you let it take your energy. But peace starves it. Peace is the silence that chokes out the fire, the absence of fuel that leaves the embers cold and forgotten. The architects of chaos can't understand this. They mistake silence for surrender, when in reality, it's the loudest declaration of independence. There's power in knowing when to walk away, not from fear, but from the understanding that some battles aren't worth your time. Those who seek conflict rely on your involvement. They need you to validate their chaos, to engage with it, to give it meaning. By choosing peace, you deny them that satisfaction. You show them that your energy is sacred, untouchable, and entirely your own. Peace is the ultimate rebellion. It's rejecting the noise, refusing to be dragged into the web of manipulation and petty games. The world thrives on drama. It's loud, it's messy, and it's intoxicating to those who have no grounding. But peace? Peace is quiet strength, the kind that terrifies those who don't understand it. It's the quiet storm that uproots everything without making a sound. Choosing peace doesn't mean turning a blind eye. It means seeing everything clearly and deciding it's not worth your spirit. You don't need to shout to be heard or fight to prove your worth. Your silence speaks volumes, and your refusal to engage with chaos is its own kind of power. Let them throw their stones. You'll build your castle with them. Drama is a parasite. It feeds on your attention, your anger, your energy. Every time you react, it grows stronger. But peace is impenetrable. It creates a boundary no one can cross, a fortress where your spirit remains untouchable. The creators of chaos hate this. They can't reach you, can't shake you, can't pull you into their storm. Peace leaves them powerless. Your peace is not their defeat. It's their awakening. It forces them to see the futility of their actions, the hollowness of their battles. Without your participation, their drama crumbles, revealing the emptiness beneath. Peace is not just the absence of conflict. It's the presence of clarity, the unshakable understanding that your energy belongs to you and no one else. There's a quiet rage in peace, a strength that doesn't need to prove itself. While others throw their tantrums, you sit still, watching as their efforts fall apart. It's not about indifference. It's about preservation. You know the cost of engaging, and you refuse to pay it. Peace is not passive. It's the most active form of resistance. It's the refusal to let chaos dictate your life. Drama will always seek you out, but peace is your choice. It's the hardest choice, the one that demands restraint, discipline, and a deep understanding of your own worth. People who lack meaning in their lives crave drama to fill the void. Meaningless lives demand a distraction, a diversion from the emptiness that consumes them. For some, this comes as drama, a fabricated storm to drown out the silence of their own thoughts. It's not about winning or losing. It's about escaping the hollowness. Drama becomes their purpose, their lifeline, their desperate grasp at feeling alive. It doesn't matter who gets caught in the crossfire as long as the void is temporarily silenced. Drama is a poor substitute for purpose. It's fleeting, unsustainable, and leaves destruction in its wake. Yet for those who lack direction, it becomes an addiction. The mess they create is their stage, and everyone around them becomes a player in their chaotic script. They thrive in the noise because it drowns out the whispers of insecurity, the screams of regret, the unbearable weight of their own insignificance. Purposeful people don't need drama. They have nothing to prove. Their meaning comes from within, not from the reactions of others. But those who lack meaning are consumed by the need to provoke, to incite, to pull others into their chaos. They seek validation in the form of attention, even if that attention is born of conflict. And when you deny them that reaction, when you refuse to play their game, their foundation crumbles. The void can never be filled with noise. Drama is a quick fix, a temporary salve for a deeper wound. It offers the illusion of meaning without substance. But those who rely on it are left emptier than before, needing more, craving more. It's a cycle that never ends, a hunger that can't be satisfied. Meanwhile, you stand still, unbothered, watching their chaos with quiet indifference. Choosing peace exposes their desperation. It forces them to confront the emptiness they've spent so long avoiding. They want a fight, a reaction, anything to validate their existence. But when you remain calm, when you choose to preserve your energy, their efforts are wasted. They are left alone with the void they tried so hard to escape, and that is a punishment far greater than any words or actions could deliver. Drama is noise. Peace is power. Those who seek drama are slaves to the noise, bound by their inability to find purpose within themselves. But peace is unshakable, untouchable. It cannot be provoked or controlled. When you choose peace, you rise above the chaos, untethered by the chains that bind the restless. You become the calm in the storm, a force that cannot be moved. There is a deep sadness in those who crave drama. Their lives are hollow, their days filled with empty pursuits. They chase conflict because it makes them feel alive, even if only for a moment. But that moment fades, leaving them more desperate than before. Drama becomes their cage, and they don't even realize they hold the key. You, on the other hand, refuse to step into that cage. You value your freedom too much. Peace is not passive. It is a choice, a declaration of strength. It is the refusal to let others dictate your emotions, your actions, your state of mind. Those who seek drama cannot understand this strength. They mistake it for weakness because they cannot imagine a world without conflict. But your peace is your greatest weapon. It is a fortress that no chaos can penetrate. Drama craves an audience, but peace demands solitude. It requires introspection, self-awareness, and the courage to walk away. Those who create drama want to pull you into their void, to make you part of their chaos. But when you choose peace, you deny them that power. You show them that your meaning comes from within, not from the noise they try to create around you. Gaslighting isn't an act of rage. It's an art of erosion. Slowly, methodically, it chips away at your sense of self, leaving you to question your perception, your instincts, your very mind. The manipulator doesn't shout or threaten. They plant seeds of doubt, small enough to seem insignificant, yet powerful enough to grow into a forest of confusion. It is the most sinister form of control because it makes you imprison yourself. The purpose of gaslighting is to rewrite your reality. The manipulator becomes the author of your story, spinning lies that sound like truths and truths that feel like lies. They are not content with having power over your actions. They crave dominion over your thoughts, your beliefs, your entire existence. Once they make you question your reality, they can make you question anything. This is how they win. Gaslighting thrives on repetition. It isn't one grand lie, but a series of subtle distortions, repeated until they feel like fact. It preys on your vulnerability, your desire to trust, your need to connect. It forces you to doubt what you've always known, to second-guess your memories, your instincts, your own sense of reason. The manipulator knows that once you lose faith in yourself, you're theirs to control. To escape gaslighting, you must anchor yourself in your truth, even as it feels like the ground beneath you is crumbling. It takes courage to trust your instincts when every word, every glance, every silence is designed to make you question them. But the moment you start trusting yourself again, the manipulator loses their grip. Their lies lose their power when you refuse to believe them. The most dangerous thing about gaslighting is its invisibility. It doesn't leave bruises. It leaves scars on your mind. The manipulator's actions are so subtle, so calculated, that even recognizing them feels impossible. But once you see the pattern, the strings holding their puppet show together, the entire illusion collapses. Awareness is the light that breaks through their darkness. Gaslighters weaponize your emotions, turning your fears, your guilt, your love against you. They know how to pull your strings because they've studied you, learned your weaknesses, your vulnerabilities. But what they don't realize is that your strength lies in those same emotions. The love they twist, the fear they exploit, the guilt they magnify. These are the tools you can use to rebuild yourself, to break free from their grip. The antidote to gaslighting is self-trust. It's the hardest thing to reclaim once it's been taken, but it's also the most powerful. Trusting yourself means believing in your own reality, your own perceptions, your own worth. It means rejecting the manipulator's narrative and writing your own. This is where your power lies, not in fighting their lies, but in refusing to let them define you. Gaslighting feeds on silence. The manipulator thrives when you keep your doubts, your fears, your confusion to yourself. Speaking your truth, even if it feels small or insignificant, is an act of rebellion. It's a crack in the facade they've built around you, a way to let light into the shadows they've created. The more you speak, the weaker their hold becomes. Peace is the ultimate weapon against gaslighting. It's refusing to engage, refusing to react, refusing to play the manipulator's game. While they spin their web of lies, you stand firm in your reality, unmoved by their distortions. Peace is not passivity, it's power. It's the decision to value your mind, your spirit, your sense of self above all else. Realize that narcissists have an addiction disorder. They are strongly addicted to feeling significant. Like any addict, they will do whatever it takes to get this feeling often. Significance is their drug, and they chase it with the desperation of a drowning man gasping for air. Narcissists build their lives around this addiction, constructing facades of grandeur to mask their hollow interiors. Their charm, manipulation, and dramatic outbursts are all tools to achieve that fleeting high of importance. And like any addict, they care little for the cost, even if it leaves ruin in their wake. The addiction to significance consumes them. It dictates their choices, their relationships, their very identity. They orchestrate situations where they become the center of attention, the puppet master, pulling strings to ensure the spotlight remains fixed on them. Their insatiable hunger is not about admiration, it's about survival. Without constant validation, their carefully curated image begins to crumble. To a narcissist, relationships are transactions. People become tools to feed their addiction, objects to manipulate and discard when no longer useful. They will gaslight, demean, and create chaos to maintain their dominance. Yet beneath their bravado lies fear, a terror of irrelevance, of being seen for what they truly are, empty. Their addiction blinds them to the damage they inflict, the bridges they burn, the hearts they shatter. Their methods are deliberate, calculated. Narcissists will provoke emotions, from admiration to rage, just to feel significant. Negative attention is as good as praise. It reminds them they matter. But this constant need for significance traps them in a cycle of destruction. The more they seek it, the more they alienate those around them, ensuring their isolation in the end. Understanding the narcissist's addiction is the key to breaking free. Recognize their tactics for what they are: desperate attempts to fill a void that no amount of external validation can ever satisfy. Their addiction is not your responsibility. Let them play their games alone. Protect your energy, for engaging only feeds their insatiable hunger. Refusing to participate is your power. When you step back and choose peace, their drama collapses under its own weight. Narcissists thrive on reaction, on the chaos they create. Deny them that reaction, and you shatter their illusion of control. Your indifference becomes their punishment, forcing them to confront the emptiness they've been running from. Narcissists are not invincible. Their addiction makes them predictable, their patterns easy to see once you step outside the chaos. They live for the fight, for the game, for the validation. But when you stop playing, you disrupt their cycle. Peace, clarity, and self-respect become your armor, impenetrable to their schemes. Breaking free from a narcissist's grip is an act of rebellion. It's choosing your sanity over their need for significance, your peace over their chaos. The narcissist may rage, manipulate, or attempt to claw their way back into your life, but your boundaries remain unshakable. Their addiction is not your burden to bear. This term is used in the 1944 Ingrid Bergman film Gaslight, in which a husband purposely drives his wife insane by flickering lights, making noises in the attic, and then claiming the very real experience was all in her head. Gaslighting is not merely a tool of manipulation, it is a form of psychological warfare. The husband in Gaslight wasn't just distorting his wife's perception of reality, he was rewriting her identity, stripping her of confidence, autonomy, and reason. The flickering lights and eerie sounds weren't about the acts themselves, but about making her question her grip on reality. It's a deliberate erosion of sanity, a calculated destruction of trust, not in others, but in oneself. The brilliance of gaslighting lies in its subtlety. A glance, a sigh, a seemingly innocent question. These tiny moments are the flickering lights of modern-day manipulation. The perpetrator knows the victim will cling to logic, trying to piece together what's happening. But logic becomes a trap when it's used against you. By the time the victim starts questioning everything, the gaslighter has already won. Gaslighting thrives in isolation. The husband didn't just manipulate his wife's mind. He severed her connections to others, ensuring she had no reality to validate her own. Isolation amplifies the echoes of doubt, making the victim more dependent on the manipulator for clarity. It's a masterful strategy. Turn the victim's world into chaos and become the sole source of order. This tactic isn't confined to relationships. It permeates every corner of power. Institutions gaslight populations. Leaders gaslight followers. And manipulators gaslight the vulnerable. The flickering lights have evolved, but the intent remains the same. Distort perception, amplify confusion, and seize control. In this dance of deception, the gaslighter plays the conductor, orchestrating chaos with precision. To resist gaslighting, one must reclaim the narrative. The power of the flickering light lies in the victim's belief in its unreliability. But when you step back, observe, and refuse to accept their script, the spell breaks. The manipulator's grip weakens when you anchor yourself in your reality. Their greatest weapon is your doubt. Your greatest defense is your certainty. The flickering light is a metaphor for every whispered lie, every twisted fact, every moment designed to unsettle. The attic's creaks are the subtle signs of manipulation, meant to distract, disarm, and dominate. Once you recognize the pattern, the power shifts. You see the strings of the puppeteer, the cracks in the illusion, and the desperation in their control. Gaslighters despise clarity. Clarity dismantles their narrative, exposes their motives, and renders their flickering lights meaningless. When you find strength in your own perceptions, their carefully constructed world crumbles. The noises in the attic are no longer a mystery. They are a pathetic attempt to steal your power. And once you see that, you are free. Choosing peace over drama is the ultimate act of rebellion against gaslighting. Peace does not need explanations, validations, or confrontations. It simply is. In the quiet of your mind, away from the manipulator's chaos, you find your strength. The flickering light becomes a steady flame, illuminating the lies for what they are, feeble and hollow. Drama loses its allure when you step into the light of your own awareness. The manipulator may continue their games, but their moves are futile against someone who refuses to play. The attic may creak, the lights may flicker, but your reality remains unshaken, and your life better.